Today on Dr. Phil.
My husband threw me away like a piece of trash.
Did you have a girlfriend?
Yes.
He had a midlife crisis.
What happened? You just wake up stupid one morning?
So she had one too.
This man, when I met him, my legs buckled.
Did you spend the weekend with him?
I spent the week with him.
Well, plot thickens.
Her husband was ready to call it quits.
When he asked me for a divorce, I told him he needed to get his testosterone levels checked. I just thought, maybe he's dipping. Women dip, they go up and down and they dip. And I thought maybe Danny was dipping.
Now he wants her back.
You want to put this back together, even though you blew it up.
Yes.
She took up with another man, and instantly, your midlife crisis was over. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
I hate to see people suffering, and you've heard long enough.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
I'm going to get you the help that you need.
5, 4.
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Go, Dr. Phil.
How you doing? Thanks, guys. All right. Well, my first guest, Judy, says that she had the perfect husband for the first 30 years of marriage. They shared date nights, vacations, weekends, camping, and trips to Disney World with their precious daughter. Judy says her husband was her soulmate and he was her best friend. And Danny agrees. He says, look, it was a true fairy tale marriage until last year when he says he turned into a complete monster. That's what he says. Now he's here to find out if the damage he's done to his relationship can ever be repaired. Take a look.
My marriage was a wonderful marriage. Every marriage has its ups and downs. We didn't have very many downs.
Judy and I had a picture-perfect marriage. I believe we were made for each other.
In my mind, I thought things started to change when his father passed away.
Last year, when I turned 53, I felt like I was at the end of my life, and you just want to live every day like it's your last day.
I didn't know what was going on with my husband. He started not coming home from work until later in the evening. I said, why would you not come home after you're working 12 hours?
When I had the midlife crisis mindset, just breaking the normal routine was a sense of freedom for me, wanting to do what I wanted, when I wanted to do it, for as long as I wanted to do it.
I would try my best to shake his being. I love you, why are you doing this? And it didn't rock him. I said, you're like an ice man. You're so cold and distant. Are you in there? And then he started getting angry.
Just really didn't want anybody to question me for what I was doing or where I had been. Normal things in life would make me angry. Always had a lot of questions in my head swirling around like a tornado.
He would always go downstairs and make coffee and donuts, and he would bring it up to me before he went to work. And he kissed me goodbye, I love you, baby, have a good day, and off he would go. That evening he came home. He says, Judy, I want to tell you something. I want a divorce. I don't want to be the perfect husband. I just want to live a single life. But everything's going to be okay. And he laughed at me. I said, what is wrong with you? And that's when it started to fall apart.
I did tell her I wanted a divorce, but I cannot remember anything about that day. It is a blur.
There were no real signs. I just thought my husband was being challenged with mourning the death of his father.
After I asked Judy for a divorce, I stayed 5 more months before I actually moved out.
Danny had become very secretive. I hired a private investigator because I thought my husband was mentally ill. The private investigator told me that a woman had stayed the night at Danny's house.
When Judy questioned me about the other woman, I did lie to her.
He was furious. He was so upset, he pulled out of the driveway cussing me. Danny never cussed me. And that's when it really started going bad.
Well, Judy says when she found out that Danny was having an affair, she raged in a way she never thought she was capable of.
Judy came to the house, knocked on the door. I didn't let her come in because there was someone else there.
I thought it was odd. He wasn't answering the door, but his truck was there. I went into Danny's truck and retrieved his cell phone. I started reading all these text messages from the girl he was seeing. Love you, Tiger. Gonna be blonde tonight. I'm scared. You gonna hurt me? I was standing there reading these messages, and Danny walked over to me and grabbed my arm, and something in me just let loose. I just took my fist and beat my husband in his head.
She did hit me quite a few times upside the head and in the face.
I got back in the car and I left and went to a parking place and just cried and screamed. I called 3 people to let them know that if I go to jail, please come bail me out because my husband will probably press charges against me.
Okay, I know why he's here. You want to put this back together?
Absolutely.
No question about it?
No question.
Whatever it takes, you want to put this back
Whatever
together?
it takes.
Even though you blew it up?
Yes.
Okay. Why are you here?
I need help. I look at him and my heart loves him, but I'm so mad at him. I don't know if this can be fixed.
Well, other than the day you whopped him upside the head several times, have you told him how you feel?
Absolutely, I have. Absolutely, I have told him. I've told him,
What have you told him?
I've told him, how could you do this? We have a beautiful family. You know, your actions destroyed everything that we have lived for. You know, the woman, just everything that he has done. And I'm thinking, how can the love of my life just throw me away like a piece of trash and not look back? He had no emotion. He was not sincere. He didn't love me. He was just so angry. So I don't know. I don't know if this is a marriage that can be repaired. So I'm here to ask you for some guidance, some teaching tools.
Now, you wrote me an email at one point that was lengthy and thoughtful, and you had no question that you wanted to fix this.
At that time, I had no question.
Okay, at that time.
I was still loving my husband, yes.
Right. And like I say, it was lengthy and thoughtful. I mean, you were very introspective. You talked about your feelings, what you wanted to do. We've heard from you as well. So why did you do this? What happened? Did you just wake up stupid one morning? What
Pretty
happened?
much, yes.
Because that's how you describe it, right? You said, I don't know. I just...
That feeling and mindset consumed me fairly quickly, and I had no idea what the definition of a midlife crisis was at that time.
Well, what is that? You said you didn't know what midlife crisis was. I still don't know what that means. You hear it a lot, you see it a lot, but what is that?
After the fact, after I'd read a lot of stuff she had put on the computer, it's a life-changing events like getting out of a routine or a schedule, doing things you normally would not do, things of that nature. And that just pretty much described me A to Z, the symptoms that I had.
I have every card that he's ever given me, 33 years worth. I left him a Valentine's card on the counter, telling him that I still loved him. He threw it away in the trash.
And later, she took up with another man, and instantly, your midlife crisis was over. Well, we posted a poll on Facebook asking, do you believe that men can really have a midlife crisis? Almost 90% of you said yes, and 11% said no. So most people, and you would certainly vote yes.
Yes.
At that point, you said you wanted to live every day like it was your last.
That's the feeling that you get, yes.
You felt a rush, like you had to do something today.
Adrenaline, even when you were tired, you still had adrenaline. That was one of the reasons for not coming home right after work. Just didn't want to end the day.
You had said there wasn't enough time in the day.
Not enough time in the day.
The days weren't long enough, he said.
Right. Well, but they were long enough to get a mistress, and yours were long enough to get a PI.
Yes.
So...
That did eventually come, yes.
Right. Now, you left her a note. I have the note here, this note. Tell me about this note.
At that point, I had begged my husband, threw myself at him, trying to save the marriage. And I come home one day, and there was this note that basically said to me, move on with your life. Find a friend, find a boyfriend. Be happy, because I am. I'm moving on.
Yeah. Well, I have the note. It was interesting. I mean, you said, at one point, you said, quote, I'm moving on with my life. I don't need your permission. I will do the divorce with or without your
He
permission.
did say that.
I suggest you move forward. Find a friend or whatever. Protect yourself and be careful.
In other words, he was giving me, in his mind, he was giving me the right to move on in my life, to find either a partner in life, because he didn't want any parts of that anymore.
Right. Did you have a girlfriend at that point?
I'm not sure exactly the time that letter was written.
You did.
It was on...
I do
it
remember
was
writing it, but not...
4 days after Valentine's Day
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
this year.
I did.
Yes.
Yeah. 4 days after
That was probably the beginning.
Valentine's Day.
I know, because I left him a Valentine's card on the counter telling
Well-
him that I still loved him. Yeah, I did.
So you remember that.
I do. He threw it away in the trash. He did. It was hard. I have every card that he's ever given me. 33 years worth. Yeah.
And he threw yours in the trash.
He didn't want it. He wanted no parts of it. I didn't get any flowers or box of candy or a card, because he always said in his cards, I love you, baby. You're my world. You know, so I didn't get that. That was just the beginning of the mess, the nightmare. Danny can't remember a lot of things that he did to me. That's what's so scary about this. He can't remember his temperaments. He can't remember how he treated me. You know, and that's what was scary, because I thought there was something mentally wrong with him.
Maybe there is.
Well, that's why I hired a private investigator. I thought the private investigator was going to tell me that my husband is mentally ill, that he's depressed, and all he's doing is going to work. I knew he was going to tell me that.
Well, a lot of times we use doctors for that.
Well, I had taken him, you know, it's funny you say that, because when he asked me for a divorce, I told him he needed to get his testosterone levels checked. I just thought, you know, maybe he's dipping. You know, women dip, they go up and down and they dip. And I thought maybe Danny was dipping. I didn't know that a man could dip. But he did. He was dipping. And I thought, well, we're going to find out. So I took him to his family the family physician.
Yes.
And they did blood work. And that day I told the doctor, I said, there's something wrong with my husband. There's something wrong with him.
He's dipping.
Can't you help him? You know? And she said, well, his blood tests come back okay. Everything's okay. And that's when I told her that there was something terribly wrong with this man. Yeah. Because you don't stay married 31 years and live the beautiful life that we had, and all of a sudden, he's just ready to toss it in the trash and walk away from everything. His daughter, his grandchildren, me, his partner in life. This man worshiped the ground I walked on. He held my hand. Yes. 33 years. A night never went by that man didn't kiss me when he went to bed. We went to bed at the same time. We took baths together every night. You don't do that.
We did.
You know, how many people can say they take a bath with their husband every night?
We probably had a connection.
Certainly not my wife. I haven't had a bath in 40 years. Take a crane to get me out of there.
We probably had a connection a few couples have.
Yeah.
Our connection that we had, I don't know of too many people that have it. It's like, you know, they wonder if we're both sick. I don't know.
And that comes to the point that I don't understand how it happened either. This
Well, we're going to
mindset.
talk about that. Let's take a break here. Judy took the note to heart. She did. He said, you need to find yourself a friend. She did. And is now caught between two lovers. We'll be right back.
I met a gentleman. It was a total instant attraction. When Danny found out that I was away with a man, he was going to drive to get me and make me come home. I'm on vacation with another man because my husband threw me away like a piece of trash.
Well, Danny says his midlife crisis hit at age 53, and in an instant, he decided to end his 30-year-long, too-good-to-be-true marriage to Judy. Now, after 10 devastating months, Judy says, she said, I got to start my life again. So she joined a dating website and met a man who she says she cannot stop thinking about.
I decided after 10 months that I needed to move forward with my life. I knew that he was not coming back, that he didn't want me. I was sitting on my couch Sunday evening, and I was on Match.com, and I decided to join.
Judy signed on to an online dating site and did tell me how many hits she got. The purpose behind that was to try and make me jealous.
I met a gentleman on Match.com. We had a phone conversation, and he did want to meet me. I walked up to him, embraced him, and I had not felt that way for a long time. It was a total instant attraction. My knees buckled when he grabbed me. This man changed everything. That first date was a wonderful week of my life. He took me away on vacation, and we just enjoyed each other's company.
I came over to the house. Judy had left me a note on the counter that she had met someone and had gone away for the weekend.
Something woke up inside of him, and he realized that his wife was no longer there.
I did call her, crying to her on the phone, asking her to come back home to forgive me and telling her that I wanted her back in my life.
When Danny found out that I was away with a man, he was going to drive to get me and make me come home. He was calling my family, he was calling me, and it got to the point where Lawrence told me to turn the phone off. I'm on vacation with another man because my husband threw me away like a piece of trash. He didn't want me anymore.
Well, plot thickens. So that was a big step for you to go on a dating website.
It was.
Because like you said, 33 years together, 30 years of marriage. Then all of a sudden you're with a stranger.
I had been waiting for 10 months, and it was to the point where I just could not do it anymore. I thought I had waited long enough. This man showed no emotion. He showed me that he wasn't going to come home. So when I decided to go on that website and go on a date, which is something I had not hardly ever done in my life because I'd been with Danny, it was something new and exciting. And this man, when I met this man, he was genuine. And we met, and I actually, the day we met, that day, he threw his driver's license up on the table. He said, take a picture of this, send it to your mother, your brother, your sister, I'm taking you away. And I said, no, you're not. We went to dinner, had a really long dinner. That evening, he says, so you're going to go away with me? I said, yeah, what time you picking me up? And he took me away. We had a beautiful time, and immediately, this man just grabbed hold of my heart. I never wanted another man to touch me. I never wanted another man. I never wanted anybody else but Danny. You know, he's all I wanted.
I wasn't gone 10 months either.
Well, it was almost, it
I
was.
didn't move out until February.
I know, but you asked for the divorce in
I
September.
was emotionally not
Listen,
there.
I'm going to try to help you here, but
Okay.
this ain't about the math, okay? This is not about calendar math.
It's been like 10 years to me. It might have been 2 months, but it was 10 months.
Okay, was this the first man that you met when you went on the dating site?
No, I met one other gentleman for lunch. We had a lunch date, and
Didn't click?
no, because it wasn't anything I was looking for. I wasn't looking for a husband or a lover, or I was looking to get out of the house to find a friendship.
What was the difference between the first guy you met for lunch and the second guy you went away with?
Well, the second guy I went away with, when I met him, my legs buckled. He grabbed a hold of me. He grabbed a hold of me when I got out of the car at the racetrack, and he just grabbed a hold of me and says, come on, girl, we're going to go in here and talk. And we spent the whole afternoon into the evening together. And I felt so safe. It was a feeling I'd not had for a very long time. I mean, your legs just don't buckle when you meet people.
No.
No, and I work around a lot of men, professional people, so this is not anything that is normal.
This was the first buckle.
Absolutely, it was. It was.
Yeah. In two ways?
Yes.
I mean, did you spend the weekend with him?
I spent the week with him.
The week?
I did.
Yeah.
And Danny, when he found that letter, because I asked him to watch the house. Nobody knew that I was going anywhere except for my sister. And I left on a counter Lawrence's information on the counter in case I disappeared. Because you don't know when you go away with a man, you don't know if he's going to bring you back.
Right. You left a note to him to keep an eye on the house? 'Cause
I did.
You were going, did you tell him where you were going?
No,
Did you tell me you're going with a man?
No.
You said, I'm out of here.
I said, I'm going to go away for a while. Please watch the house. I'll be back. I might have even put that I'll be back the following weekend or something.
Yeah.
And then on the other counter, I left all Lawrence's contact information, the color of his truck, his driver's license, in case, you know, his website, you know, in case I disappeared. And I told my sister, I said, I'm going to go away. And I said, there's information on the counter if I don't come back.
So you just wanted, that wasn't really safety, you just wanted to know who to electrocute if you didn't come back.
Right, if I didn't come back home.
Okay,
right.
Who to catch and kill.
Who to come look for.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is it my understanding, there's no country song that says, how can I miss you if you won't leave? She left.
She did.
She took up with another man.
She did.
And instantly, your midlife crisis was over. You texted Lawrence and told him to back off.
I love this woman more now than ever.
How can she know that it's not going to happen again next month or next year? Danny says when he found out Judy was on a weekend-long date with another man, he suddenly, in his words, in an instant, wanted Judy back. Now, here's an excerpt from a note that he wrote to her to try to get her back. He said, quote, my tornado has stopped. The trigger was you might be with someone else, and that made me realize how much I love you. I am more in love with you now. I was never going to divorce you. That's why I never took any more furniture. I was just being an with my temper, but it is all gone. I will get you anything. Rings, cars, or we can travel anywhere. I have made one mistake in 33 years. I think I deserve a second chance. We're humans, not machines. We can start with counseling again. And you texted Lawrence and told him to back off.
At that very weekend, the same weekend she went away, I told him that, yes, I did. The number was on the counter. I did text him, and I asked him to, as man to man, please back off. Let me try and fix my marriage. We have a daughter, grandchildren.
Did you know that he got a text?
Yes, Lawrence told me that he had texted Danny, and he wanted to know how Danny got the text number. Because if I did not give it to him, that he was, you know, he didn't really like that. But he did tell Danny that Danny is the one that brought the evil into the marriage, and that he wasn't going to walk away unless I told him to. He had no intentions of giving in to Danny.
So now you are completely clear on what you want to do.
Absolutely.
You want your marriage back together, your relationship back together, you want your wife back, you want to get back to this unreal life that you had before.
Yes, I am 10 times more appreciative of what I had or maybe still have than ever before. I love this woman more now than ever. Even after 33 years being together, my love is probably 10 times stronger. Obviously, because I've been waiting and just waiting for her to maybe, I never know when the next day she might wake up and say, I want to fix things with my husband again. So I'm more appreciative of my life, my wife, my beautiful family.
But since you don't have any insight into why you just woke up and turned into a monster or whatever.
No.
Iceman.
Iceman, monster, got stupid, whatever we call it.
My brother has a version of it. He's a Christian man. He says maybe the devil's tried to divert you because of you coming closer to Christ, and I can't. He's my brother, and I can't ignore what he's saying.
Well, no, but I don't think the devil made me do it's going to get you.
No, I'm not saying that's what happened. That's his version of what he thinks.
I don't. Listen, I'm very much a Christian, and I don't make light of any of that at all. But I also, you know what foxhole Christians are, right?
Yes.
Yeah, foxhole Christians. It's like two guys in a foxhole, and the shells are coming in. He says, "Are you a Christian?" His buddy says, "Well, I am tonight."
There's no atheist in a foxhole.
Yeah, exactly. But since you don't have insight into why this happened to begin with, how can she know that it's not going to happen again next month or next year? Because it seems, you know, and I don't mean to, this is not an insult to you, it's just, please, but You see this, if there's a dog in the backyard and they've got a toy or a bone over there, it can lay there forever and the dog not have any interest into it. But you let another dog walk in that gate and walk over to that toy or bone, and you got you a dog fight going on, because the dog wasn't interested in the toy or the bone till another dog was. Then all of a sudden he wants to repossess it, he wants to re-own it. But then as soon as he does, then it loses its interest to him again. And that she's got to be thinking here, okay, so he instantly wanted me back when somebody else showed an interest in me, but he sure didn't for months before that. So now he repossesses me, the other dog walks out of the yard, and then I'm just over there again like the forgotten toy.
I understand her.
That's got to be part of your concern, because you're saying, am I going to walk away from Lawrence and back to him?
Why would I give up a good thing and go back to something that almost destroyed me? Why would I give him that?
Well, I'm going to answer that. Next, Judy says she can't choose between her husband, Danny, and her boyfriend, Lawrence. Danny, 33 years history. Lawrence buckled her knees. She wants to make a decision and says, whatever I say goes. I don't want that responsibility, but I am going to give him some things to think about. We'll be right back.
I'm in this situation now where I have my husband pulling on me, wanting me to come back to him, and then I have Lawrence, on the other hand, that wants to spend the rest of his life with me.
A couple months ago, I moved back into our home. We decided to try and fix our marriage. Everything was like normal. During those 4 days, it was like a honeymoon again. We were intimate every day. And then 4 days later, she said she wasn't ready to do it yet.
As long as I have those visions in my head of that other woman, I can't fix this.
She's still angry for what I had done and also had feelings for another person. So I continued living there, sleeping in another bedroom. She would continue to see him.
Bringing Danny back into the home has really impaired my relationship with Lawrence. I don't let Lawrence pick me up at my house. If I go away with Lawrence, I meet him somewhere. You have to be respectful.
Well, comment on that.
That's very painful to stay at home and watch that happen.
I've been tortured since I let him move back in to see that I'm still living my life one day at a time.
But I have a
you say it's respectful to go meet your boyfriend down the street.
Well, the way I look at this is Danny dissolved my marriage vows. I have a marriage certificate. I don't have a marriage. He dissolved the vows that we took before God, and he dissolved them with his actions. So I don't have a marriage. I have a marriage certificate that holds me legally bound to him and all our assets together. But as for Lawrence coming and picking me up, I didn't want to disrespect Danny or hurt Danny. Danny is being tortured ever since he moved back into the house to see that Judy is up, functioning, living her life, and moving on one day at a time. Judy can't take a week at a time, but Judy can do one day at a time. And as for Lawrence, Lawrence is willing to accept one day at a time. You know, he knows that there might not be a tomorrow for him. He wants me to be happy, and he wants me to be in my happy place. Danny did not care if I had a happy place. And for him to want me back now, how do I trust that? I don't know how to trust that. But I'm like thinking like you were just saying. The dog didn't want the bone, and then the dog wants the bone now because another dog wanted the bone. You know, so...
I knew you'd get it.
I got it. I got it. But the thing is, Lawrence doesn't want to give up his bone now. He's not willing to do that.
And neither does Danny.
So, you know...
Well, Judy says she's having a tough time choosing between her husband of 31 years and her new boyfriend of 3 months, a man who Judy says is like a drug to her.
When I'm with Lawrence on the weekends, I'm in my happy place. And then as time goes by and I have to get ready to go back home, I have to go back to reality. And I have to fight again with my emotions. Danny is the Danny that I have known for 33 years. Do I trust him? Absolutely not. And that's what I'm having a hard time with here. How do you trust someone that walked in one afternoon and just walked away from it all and then wants to come back like nothing has happened here? Lawrence makes me happy. I had the opportunity to stay with Lawrence, I would stay with Lawrence. But the reality of it is, Danny and I have our assets, we have our family, and there's a lot to be worked out. And I don't know if I'm strong enough to go through all that. Lawrence wants me to be happy. He thinks I need a break from everything. And he offered me to come be with him, and he would pay me my salary for 3 months, take a mental vacation from everything. I'm in this situation now where I have my husband pulling on me, wanting me to come back to him, and then I have Lawrence on the other hand that wants to spend the rest of his life with me. I can't decide which way to go because either way I go, somebody's going to be hurt, and nobody needs to be hurt.
Okay, now look, here's where we are on this. Do you count your history with him of 30 years and your family and all the things that you talked about treasuring so much? Does that have a value? Does that have a valence? Does that have a weight to you?
Absolutely, it does. I love my husband.
You love your husband.
I've always loved my husband.
And you've got a history with your husband.
I do.
But then on the other hand, there's Lawrence, and it's fresh and it's exciting.
It is.
And it makes you feel valued and wanted and kind of re-energized your
correct.
self-worth, which had been seriously damaged.
That's correct.
But there's a big difference between falling in love and being in love. Falling in love is like skydiving. It's fun, it's exciting, it's exhilarating. Being in love is like landing and not killing yourself. I mean, there's a difference between the two.
Yeah, but I didn't plan to fall in love with him.
No,
I
I'm
wasn't
not
looking
saying
for that.
he pushed you out of the plane. I get that, but
He's telling me that he's never loved, he's 57 years old, and he's never loved a woman the way he's loved me. But I'm at the point where now, I don't know if I want to be married ever again.
it's time for me to tell you what I think.
Thank you.
Can I say something?
No.
The odds are against you here, you and Lawrence. I mean, I'm not saying he's not fun to go to the lake with.
Right.
Lake Lawrence is
Right.
probably a lot of fun. But at home, Lawrence,
She's mentioned his flaws already.
all of that.
Well,
I mean,
a woman is a piece of glass, and you got to remember, you got to keep those edges polished. You have to, you got to
Always
take
have.
care of her. You have to, make her feel like a woman.
Lawrence said that?
No, I told him.
Oh, you told him. Okay. Right. Well, the thing is, right now, when you look at your husband, you see this other woman.
I do.
When you look at Lawrence, you see Lawrence.
I see Lawrence.
At the lake, hair blowing in the wind.
Yeah. He's handsome.
All that, right?
Look at him. He is handsome.
Yeah, he's
57 years old.
Yeah, he's handsome. I'm sure Danny.
I mean,
thinks
he's offered me a life that I never wanted.
Has the boy got some money? I mean,
Well, he can provide me financial
trying to buy her,
security.
no doubt.
He wants me to be happy.
what you know is what Lawrence has told you.
Lawrence from the beginning took me to meet his very closest friends because he wanted me to know who he was.
Right.
And he has.
Well, that's helpful.
He has. But he was upset because I kept him in the closet. I wouldn't bring him around my family. But my daughter is not going to allow another man to be in her children's life. It's Mimi or Pap.
No.
And that's
It
weighing
is.
heavy on me.
It is.
It is weighing heavy on me,
Well,
all that.
all right. It's time for me to tell you what I think.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I say something?
No.
She was there for me when she was there for me during my mental separation from her, and now I am there for her. I am her husband, and I'm just going to be there for her. I have an unconditional love for this woman. She's doing what she feels like has the right to do right now, and is it painful? Yes, absolutely. But I cannot give up on this woman.
Yeah. You a hound dog?
What's the definition of that?
Well, you skirt chaser? I mean, you
Absolutely
going
not.
after another woman sometime? I mean,
Absolutely
these are the
not.
things that she has to weigh in her mind.
I understand that.
He wouldn't
I
even look at
understand.
women because he knows I'd bop him upside the head. That's disrespectful.
I have
That is
tried to be.
Which you've
disrespectful.
done.
Well, only in a moment of rage, I lost myself when I found out that he was with that woman and all those nasty text messages.
And you boxed his ears.
I busted him up pretty good.
I
I
tried-
didn't think I could ever do that.
I've tried to be
Dr.
the
Phill,
best-
he took me to a place I never want to go again.
Okay, well...
A woman doesn't act like that.
No. You are still hugely pissed. If you want to be happy and at peace this time next year, then you will make the investment of doing what I'm going to ask you to do. Would y'all like to hear what I think about this?
I do. That's why I'm here. You know I have to go to court Monday.
That's why we're here.
So we're down to the wire here.
We are. I have to fly back to West Virginia today, and I have to contact my attorney by Friday.
You have unfinished emotional business with him.
I do.
You are still hugely pissed.
I'm hugely pissed, and I'm, you know, Dr. Phill, here's the thing. I've loved this man with all my heart. Sexually attracted to him after 33 years, can't get enough. You know, I'm sorry.
No, I
I'm
get
sorry.
it. I get it. Look, here's the thing. Lawrence, charming, fun, high-risk guy, though, right? You recognize the high
Right,
risk? I'm
right.
telling you, high risk. Okay, here you have unfinished emotional business. And I always tell people there is a time to get a divorce. And you know when that time is. The time is when you can walk out that door and say, I have turned over every stone. I have investigated every possible avenue of rehabilitation. I have no unfinished emotional business with this person. If you walk out mad, sad, you know, whatever, in some emotional deflected area, then you're not ready to get a divorce. If you want to be happy and at peace this time next year, then you will make the investment of doing what I'm going to ask you to do. Give me 90 days to arrange some very specialized help for the two of y'all to work through where you are right now. If Lawrence is for real, he will step back and respect that, and he'll be standing there on the 91st day. If you go with Lawrence right now, you will spend the rest of your life wondering what it is that caused you to walk away from a 30-year family. Your daughter, the grandchildren, that all of the things that y'all created together. And it's going to have to involve forgiving him. That doesn't mean you will forget it, but you will have to forgive it. And forgiving is a choice. It's not, it's not a feeling that comes over you one day, like a midlife crisis. It's something that you choose to do, you choose to own, and it really has nothing to do with him. It has to do with you saying, you know, let God judge that, but I'm not going to be held in that emotional bond for the rest of my life.
I'm tormented
of
daily.
bitterness. You got to be willing to let that go. And there may be some things, you may need a pound of flesh before you do that. There may be some things you need to work out. And I will arrange some very, just as our gift to y'all, I will arrange some very specialized help to do this. Give me 90 days, or if it's 60 days, whatever the intensity is, but I need a period of time for you to finish this business and then look at him where you don't see that other woman. You see the man that you spent 33 years with that got dinner ready for you so you could watch me. Okay? If I arrange this for you, and I mean, I will start it right now. I mean, by the time y'all get back, well, you're in the air, this will be getting worked on for you to get this help and move forward. Will you give us that time?
do.
Now, there's a kicker. No Lawrence during that time.
Okay.
No Lawrence during that time. You got to
Right
say.
now? Starting right now?
You can talk to him. You can talk to him and tell him what you're going to do and ask him to respect that period. But you never solve problems in a marriage by turning away from your partner. And you never solve them by bringing in a third party.
Okay.
Okay, so will you do that?
I will. I will.
Fair enough?
I will. Thank you.
Okay, fair enough?
Thank you. Oh, absolutely.
Okay. That's why I was telling you. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks so much. See you guys.
and Dr. Phill, a husband under suspicion.
You believe that he is molesting your daughter and son.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
A mother shocked and outraged.
I want to kill him. I just want to watch him die slowly.
Is he falsely accused?
She's just psycho.
You're such a liar.
Or did he do the unthinkable?
Did your daughter tell you these things?
I'm not making it up. She said it. She said it. I swear to God she said it.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
I hate to see people suffering, and you've hurt long enough.
Stand by, Dr. Phill.
Wilson, take
I'm going to get you the help that you need.
In 5, 4,
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Go, Dr. Phill.
How you doing, guys? How you doing? Well, today we're talking about the last thing you ever want to hear from your little girl. Mommy, Daddy touched my privates. That's what Wilma says her daughter told her this past June. Now, Wilma is now convinced that her husband Adam molested their 4-year-old daughter and their 2-year-old son. Now, Wilma, of course, immediately called the police, kicked Adam out of the house, and filed for divorce. But Adam vehemently denies the allegations and claims Wilma is just mentally unstable. He is furious that he's allowed only to see his kids during supervised visits and says Wilma is just making up these molestation allegations because she is angry that their marriage went south. And he is here today, he says, to prove his innocence. So is this a case of falsely accused, or has this father done the unthinkable? Take a look.
Adam and I have 2 children together. My daughter is 4 and my son is 2. One day my daughter came to me and said that the boy showed her the worm in her pants. And I said, who? And she said, her daddy. I was completely in shock. She said, Daddy pulled down brother's panties and then he pulled down my underwear and then he washed his hands. She told me that her dad made her touch her brother's. I felt completely enraged. I was so mad. I called Adam at work.
Wilma was screaming at me. All I could say was, nothing is going on.
I called 911 and the police came to the home.
At the house, the police asked me if any of this was true. I said no. I knew I had nothing to fear because I had nothing to hide.
This is my worst nightmare and it's happened. Like, it's happening. Just hate him.
I have never molested my kids. I have done nothing wrong.
My husband Adam is nothing but a pedophile.
I am being falsely accused of molesting my kids. I am not a child molester. Wilma wants to put me on a cross and burn me.
When I think of Adam, I think that he's disgusting.
Wilma has turned my kids into pawns. My wife has gone completely off the deep end here.
When I think about what Adam has done to our children, I feel so angry and enraged that I can't control myself. If I could, I would cut Adam off and feed it to him and watch him bleed slowly. I wouldn't buy a gun and end it quickly.
Okay, I'm here with Adam and Wilma, and you guys are already at odds here. I understand you're upset. And if this is happening, well, you should be upset. But what are you two going back and forth about before we even start here? What started all of this?
She's just psycho.
You believe that he is molesting your daughter and your son.
Yes.
This is your daughter and your son as well. You're the biological father.
Yep.
So these are your children. And she says that you are molesting them.
Yep.
Are you?
No, it couldn't be further from the truth.
Why do you believe that he is?
Because my daughter came to me saying that she has said that every time it happened, Adam would shut the door so no one could see.
And you believe this?
I absolutely 100% believe it.
And why do you believe it? I mean, this is the man you married. You know him? Do you think he's capable of that?
Yes. Yes.
And you believe this right up until this moment. In fact, last night we got text messages from you The text message from Wilma says, I swear to God, I will kill this on stage tomorrow with my bare hands. Wilma says, we were lying in bed right after you called. The kids were laughing and carrying on. I turned over and my daughter was reaching towards my son's private parts. I don't know if she had been touching him for sure. I got up and turned the light on for her, and my son followed us and threw up. Then at 8:13, you texted, I just had a realization. That's why he's been throwing up all along. I feel nuts right now. A minute later, you text back. So that means he's been molesting my son since he was an infant. What the? Who does this kind of thing? So you were very upset last night.
Very upset.
And so you now conclude that with your son throwing up last night, given the fact that your daughter was reaching for him, that's a show of anxiety and is causing him to be nauseated.
Correct.
Adam, she says that you have molested your son and daughter, that you've watched porn in front of your daughter, and she says that she called the police and made a report about all of this. Were you questioned?
Yep.
And when you were told this, it was by your daughter.
Yes.
And how did you feel when she told you?
I felt nuts. I felt like my worst nightmare ever had come true. I was completely hurt.
And how do you feel towards him?
I want to kill him. There's no other word for it. I just want to watch him die slowly.
You say that she was on a, quote, evil kick for at least 10 days prior to all of these allegations coming up. What's evil kick mean?
Just saying that, you know, she wanted a divorce, that she was unhappy with the marriage.
And how long have y'all been married?
8 years, together 10.
About 10 and a half, yeah.
And you say for this entire 8 years, he's been raping you.
Yes. In my sleep. He's never once made one sexual advance towards me while I've been awake. Every single time we've ever had sex was when I was asleep, and I would wake up with him on me or doing something to me sexually. Yeah, shake your head. It's true. It's very true. Yes, it is.
She takes lots of medication, and she took this muscle relaxer because she was low on pain pills, and then she would like double up on these muscle relaxers, and I take the same kind of muscle relaxer, and if I even take
You're such a liar. You take them so many times, Adam. I took one a week. They're still at home. That's why I never got the prescriptions filled, Adam.
You would take 2 or 3 a night.
No, I wouldn't.
And then you'd be like,
There's no way
oh,
I'd
I'm
ever
sorry,
wake up.
I'm falling asleep. It's like, she'd take one at 6, and then around like 10:30, she'd be like, yeah, I'm still, my back still hurts, so she'd take another one. And then within like a half hour, she'd be like totally falling asleep.
I was interested to see if you wanted to talk about that, because if somebody was molesting my children, I wouldn't want to talk about another damn thing. I wouldn't want to talk about pills. I wouldn't want to talk about muscle relaxers.
It's always something
I wouldn't talk about, I want to talk about that. I would want to find out what the hell is going on, and if it's going on, and what's going on. I mean, that would be my focus here. I was just curious what you wanted to talk about.
I want to talk about the kids being molested. I don't even want to. He has an excuse for everything. He always has.
Well, I want to get down to details on this, and I want to tell you both something I feel very strongly about when we come back. You're going to find out what Wilma says Adam did that made her worried that she might never see her daughter again. We'll be right back.
Adam has come to the home trying to lure my daughter out of the home. Open the door. I've got candy. Open the door. Open the door.
This is just another manipulative tale that she's trying to feed somebody that will listen.
Adam Adam needs to be in jail for the rest of his life for what he's done to our children.
I believe Wilma is delusional and she needs help.
He needs to be locked up and thrown away the key. He doesn't need to see daylight ever again. My greatest fear is that nothing will happen to him. He is a child molester.
Well, Wilma has just told me that she would like to see her husband, Adam, die a slow death because she is convinced that he has molested her 4-year-old daughter and her 2-year-old son. Wilma says she didn't think things could get any worse until Adam tried to lure their daughter out of the house with candy while a protection order was in place. Take a look.
I'm terrified that he'll try to kidnap the children. Adam has come to the home trying to lure my daughter out of the home with candy. I heard Adam saying, "Come down, open the door. I've got candy. Open the door, open the door."
I never tried to lure my daughter out of the house with candy or anything. This is just another manipulative tale that she's trying to feed somebody that will listen.
Adam's absolutely stalking me and the children. Adam's driven around the house so many times to spy on me.
No, I haven't been driving by the house.
He told the next door neighbor to spy on me through the bushes.
No, I have not told the neighbors to spy on her from the bushes.
Adam has also had the mail lady come to my house. She came inside of the home at one point and just kept saying, "Who's in there? Who lives there with you?"
No, it's laughable. It's like, what is she gonna make up now?
I wouldn't be surprised if Adam kidnapped my kids and killed them so that they couldn't speak, so that he wouldn't go to prison the rest of his life. That's what I'm afraid of. That's my worst fear.
Okay, well, look, let me be sure I understand your position because it's important to you. You think he's molesting your 4-year-old and your 2-year-old. You think he's tried to kidnap your 4-year-old with candy, to lure her out with candy. And do you think if he got his hands on her and got her away that he would kill her?
I think he would do anything to keep her quiet. Absolutely. He knows he's going to face life in prison.
I assume you called the police when he attempted to kidnap your daughter in violation of a protection order.
No, I didn't.
So he's at your house trying to lure your daughter out with candy.
He lured her out.
And you don't call the police?
No, I didn't call.
Why would you not? You have an order in place, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I felt like they weren't going to do anything anyway.
Right. Are you telling the truth here?
Absolutely.
Because you've talked to the police, then you've talked to us. These are very serious allegations, and I need to be clear with both of you. I take this very seriously. This is a very high-stakes scenario. If you are molesting your children, then you are severely impaired and you need a lot of help. And if that's the case, you need to tell me and I will help you every way that I can. I will get you professional help. I will send you to professional help. I will do anything and everything I can to help you. And people can get over and recover from that. If you're doing that, you need to tell me that. Because if you don't, and I find out that it's true, then I'm not going to help you. I'm going to help prosecute you. And let me say to you, if you're making this up, if you got mad and you said these things in anger and they didn't really happen and you didn't get told what you said you got told, then you need to tell me now. And I will help you with your anger. I will help you get a divorce or stay married or whatever you want to do. But if you're making this up, then that is child abuse. And you are alienating them from their father. You are misusing the legal system. Yep. And I will do everything I can to hold you accountable for that if you're making these up, because those are serious lies. If you are, tell me now and I will help you. Don't tell me later, because I will help prosecute you later. I am offering my advocacy to either one of you now, but that is a time-limited offer. Did you make this up?
Absolutely not.
Think about what you're saying.
I don't have to. I didn't make anything up.
Are you being inappropriate with your children? Think about what you're saying.
Absolutely not.
Then, have I been clear?
Oh, yeah. And
You understand the role I'm going to play if either one of you are lying about this. Just so we know. We'll be right back.
I feel like Adam's been raping me through the entire marriage. Adam's only had sex with me while I was asleep.
I believe she is making all this up.
I feel like Adam's been raping me through the entire marriage. Adam's only had sex with me while I was asleep.
All of our sex has been consensual.
It was never consensual. I would always wake up in the night with Adam on top of me. There were numerous mornings that I would wake up and was very sore.
She claims that I drugged her. The whole thing is just mind-blowing.
He would buy bottles of Benadryl, like 4 to 10 bottles at any given time, and go out a week later and buy more. I don't know if he was putting it into something I was drinking.
She takes these real strong muscle relaxers and then proceeds to just fall asleep. I believe she is making all this up to make me look like a bad person or a monster.
I feel like he raped me because he's sick. I feel like he doesn't know any other way.
Do you want to reconsider your position?
Absolutely not.
Do you want to reconsider your position?
No.
Okay, let's take a look at what happened. Wilma, you talked to the police and you said you reported on 6/25 that you had bedtime conversations that took place the night before, and that your daughter said, "He showed me the worm in his pants." You said, "Who?" The daughter said, "The boy." You said, "What boy?" Daughter said, "Brother." And you asked no more questions at that point. That's directly from the police report. Is that correct?
Correct.
Then we talked to you about this same conversation. And you said your daughter said, "He showed me the worm in his pants," which is exactly what you told the police here. You said who? You told us the boy that came over yesterday, same thing is said here. You said you asked your cousin. Your daughter said no. Daddy, what do you mean worm? And your daughter said, so you told us a different story than you told the police. Why?
Time had passed. I may be confusing what she said. I don't sit and read the police reports. I have tried to block out to cope day to day of what has happened.
And this got referred to CPS, right?
Yes.
And they did an investigation and did a forensic interview with your daughter.
Yep.
Correct?
Correct.
And their result was no finding. They said they could find no evidence at all that this has happened. That was their finding. I'm just saying that's what they found.
Right.
Correct?
Correct.
Going forward, according to Wilma, daughter said, "You know that pretend guy and that pretend boy and the pretend girl, he made us pull our undies and underwear down and he washed his hands." That's what you told the police, correct? That's directly from the police report. That's why it's in quotes.
Right.
But you told us, Daddy pulled down brother's pants and then mine and then washed his hands.
She did say that. She
Okay,
did.
why are
she
you
said it
telling the
later
police that a pretend guy, and then you're telling us that she said Daddy?
Because she said that at a later date. She did say that. She said that and that. She has said both things. Maybe I'm confusing everything that she has said, but she has. I specifically remember the one on the right more than the one on the on the left, and that's just how it is.
Well, again, CPS has no finding that confirms this. I'm just telling you what they're saying. Okay? Now, you tell the police in the report, again, because it's in quotes, Daddy showed us in the shower. You never told us this. On 6/25, you said could not give any additional details about the drugging because you said he drugs you, right? You think he drugs you.
I absolutely 100% think.
And you tell us you think that he's putting grape Benadryl in your grape Kool-Aid.
Yeah, that's my assumption.
Okay, in the handwritten protection order, you said that Adam had strangled and raped you for 8 years. But you never told us this.
I was more concerned about the kids than myself.
I'm concerned about these inconsistencies.
I did suffer a concussion on Mother's Day, so I don't know if how I haven't even gotten more medical attention since then, so my memory's not as clear probably as it should be, and I have tried to block most of it out just to cope day to day, to take care of the children, to even get through the day without going nuts.
Well, you didn't mention a concussion to us before.
I had a concussion on Mother's Day.
She bumped her head while we were out and about having dinner, and yeah, she did have a concussion, and that is when really things did change. She wasn't normal after that, that's for sure.
Well, there is a lot of he said, she said going on here. I'm going to continue to get to the truth. I did invite Jack Tremarco to give both Adam and Wilma a lie detector test. I have not opened that envelope. We're going to talk about those results coming up.
I will gladly take a polygraph test to prove that I didn't do anything wrong. And
I would love if Adam took a polygraph test. I think he can lie to anybody he wants, but I don't think he could lie to a polygraph test.
I think what the polygraph test results will show is that I am a good dad, and I'm only there for my kids. Because of Wilma's false accusations, all of my visits have to be supervised.
I don't feel safe at all having my children around Adam. The kids have started to act out and do have behaviors from being molested. Whenever Adam does have visits with the children, my son will throw up. My daughter is defecating in her pants. A few months ago, my daughter did start touching my son inappropriately as well. The children have learned every behavior from him. I'm horrified at everything that's been going on. I'm completely devastated.
Now, you gave some quotes after the police left as well, and I want to include those. You said, quote, that you were told by your daughter, Daddy touched my private parts. Daddy shut the door so no one could see him touch Brother's private parts. Daddy made me touch Brother's private parts. Daddy pulled down Brother's panties, then mine, and then washed his hands. Those were additional allegations you made after the police left. Why did you not make them while the police were there?
She said them later.
These were said later?
These were said later.
So you told the police that she told you this on the night of the 24th. You told us that she told you this at breakfast on the 25th.
She made more comments. She made the actual comments with the...
Do you see my problem with that? Just from a forensic standpoint, it troubles me that you're imprecise about that.
That's fine. I'm not lying. I'm not making anything up. I mean, she actually said it, and if I can't remember word for word, I'm sorry, but she actually made these comments, and she's still making comments.
I have two other statements that I want to share with you. This is the forensic interview with your daughter, okay? And guys, I do my homework on this stuff,
I could see that. As
you can well see, because I take this seriously.
No doubt.
Okay, so in the forensic interview with your daughter, the investigator showed daughter a gingerbread drawing of a girl and a boy which is exactly the appropriate forensic tool to use in a forensic interview. And they talked about body parts. Daughter uses the correct terminology to identify those body parts. At this time, there is no evidence or disclosure to support the allegations. Now, then there was a forensic interview, not with the child, but with you. Wilma was advised of the interview process, and we talked with her about the allegations. Each time when we would talk about the allegations concerning her daughter, Wilma would change topic and talk about the relationship with Adam and things that have happened to her. She would change the topic. That's not me, that's them. You didn't feel like talking to the people that could bring him to accountability?
I was ashamed. I felt embarrassed that it even happened because my family has a history of it. I was completely going out of my mind.
Wilma, did this really happen?
It really happened.
And I don't mean...
I swear on everything that I know, it happened.
And you didn't see it happen. What I'm asking you if happened is, did your daughter tell you these things?
Yes, she did. And I would never lie about anything, and especially that. Like, she said it. She made so many comments. Yes, she did.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I did ask Jack Tremarco to come here to conduct polygraphs, which have taken place over the last couple of days. I have the results in this envelope, and I'm going to see these for the first time when you do, right after the break.
With everything I've gone through with my kids, I feel like I'm nuts. He's accused me of being crazy this whole time. I feel like I am crazy. I'm so angry with everything that he's done.
It feels like a living nightmare to be falsely accused of so many horrible things.
Adam needs to know that I'm his worst nightmare, and I'm not going away, and I'm not backing down, and that if he wants war, he's got it, because I'm not going away.
Wilma is convinced that her husband, Adam, has molested their children. Now it's time for the polygraph results. I invited polygraph expert Jack Tremarco to administer the test to both Adam and Wilma. When you met with Mr. Tremarco and he conducted this examination, did it seem like he knew what he was doing?
Oh, yeah. I've seen him on TV before. I mean, he's the best.
Yeah, and so you don't have any problems with the test. Whatever the results are, the test was properly administered.
Yeah.
It was reasonably explained to you.
My only fear is that it would be like a false positive, you know, because I know what I did and didn't do, and so, I mean...
There are no false positives. Well, there are none.
Okay, and because I'm asking you the same thing. Did you...
Absolutely.
You got along with Mr. Tremarco okay?
Absolutely.
And it was a fair test?
Mm-hmm.
Everything was explained to you, there weren't any terms that you didn't know the meaning of or whatever? Because he takes quite some time to say, let's define what sexual contact means.
He's very thorough. Yeah.
And so you don't equivocate about that.
No.
He did a proper test, explained things properly to you, and whatever the results, you're not going to say, well, he doesn't know what he's doing, he didn't do a good test.
No. I'm glad he did it.
And the same thing with you. You understood the terms, you understood everything that was going on, and like you said, there are no false positives.
Right.
So you don't have any problem with the test?
No.
Okay. Jack, did things, in terms of protocol-wise, did things go to your liking as far as meeting the conditions of the testing?
Yes. These were about as normal or average exams as could be run.
All right. Well, here are the questions that were asked. You were asked 4 questions, and I'm going to say private parts instead of what was actually said. So, Wilma, the first question you were asked is, Did your daughter tell you, quote, Daddy touched my private parts? And your answer was?
Yes.
The second question you were asked is, when you say your daughter told you that Daddy touched my private parts, is that true?
Yes.
The results to both of those is that you were being deceptive.
What? But I swear on everything I wasn't. I swear.
The results are that you were being deceptive.
I swear on everything. I swear. She said it.
Jack, was this a close call?
In order to have failed this exam using this particular format, she would have needed a -4 or above, and she was a -9.
-9.
I swear to God, she said it. I swear on.
You were
my
asked
life,
two
she
other
said it.
questions.
I swear to God, she said it.
You were asked two other questions. Did you instruct your daughter to say, Daddy touched my private parts? And you said?
No.
You were said, did you tell your daughter to say, Daddy touched my private parts? And you said?
No.
And the results to both of those questions were deceptive.
I swear to God, I'm not making this up. I swear.
Jack, were those answers a close call?
Same scoring criteria, but this
She said it, though. I swear to
examination
God,
was a -11.
This was a -11. Adam, you were asked, have you ever touched either of your children for a sexual reason? And your answer was?
No.
You were asked, since their birth, have you ever touched either of your children for a sexual reason?
Nope.
And you said?
No.
And the results to both of those questions was non-deceptive.
How is that possible? I swear to God, I didn't do that. I swear to God, I'm not making it up. I swear to you. I swear to God. I swear. I swear on my life, I did not make this up. I swear to God, I did not make this up. I was thinking in my mind, even when it was going on, that I told her to tell the therapist, you need to tell them, you know, what you've been telling me, but I didn't make it up. I swear to God, I didn't make it up. She said it. She said it. She said it. Yes, she did. I swear to God she said it. I swear to God she said it.
How do you feel about the fact that
I'm not
this
making
test,
it up.
How do you feel about the fact that this test confirms that Adam has not touched your children in a sexual manner?
I feel bad. I mean, she did say it. I swear to God, she said it. I
You
swear
feel
to God,
bad?
she said it.
You should be elated. You have
I'm
just
not
found out.
making it up.
You have just found out that these evidence indicate that your child has not been molested. Is that not the best news you've ever heard in your whole life?
Yes, that's terrific. That's absolutely, I'm sorry.
Is there an explanation for how all of this could be what it is? Well, we're going to find out the answer to that question when we come back.
I swear to God, she said it.
I was molested as a young child. I never got help for anything. Everything was just kind of swept under the rug.
She's got this paranoia that people are out to get her and the kids.
In my eyes, he's not safe around anybody's child.
Wilma grew up in a very abusive environment.
I was molested as a young child. I grew up in an extremely abusive household.
I do not believe that Wilma has dealt with any of the damage that she has endured growing up.
The abuse haunts me day in and day out. I never got help for anything. Everything was just kind of swept under the rug.
I believe that Wilma is accusing me of molesting my children because of all the abuse that she suffered when she was a kid.
I'm not making anything up because of what happened to me as a child.
Wilma has so much unresolved damage that she's got this paranoia that people are out to get her and the kids, and I am not that person.
In my eyes, Adam is the biggest creep, pedophile monster there is. He's not safe around anybody's child.
I
Wilma?
didn't make it up. I swear to God, I didn't make it
now,
up.
all right, let me say a few things. First off, I'm very sorry about what happened to you as a child, and I'm glad that the person has been held accountable for it. I'm very sorry for that. And I hate that for you, and you said you've never dealt with any of that. I hate that for you as well. But I want to say that there are multiple prongs here that support that this hasn't happened to your children. And I would think that would be really good news.
I'm glad that it hasn't. I have not made it up. I did not make up what she said. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, she did tell me those things, Adam. She did. I swear to God, she did.
Why did you keep changing the subject when the forensic examiners wanted to talk to you about the details of what she said?
I kept having flashbacks of my childhood, of what happened. And when she made those comments, I was going crazy. I kept going back to my childhood in my mind and couldn't even think.
If you were having flashbacks, if this was making you disoriented and avoidant of the situation, that's a very powerful effect.
I was telling the lady doing the investigation that they were telling me, you know, this isn't about you, your childhood. This is, and I was having flashbacks. I really was.
All right, well, let's take a break, and I'm going to tell Wilma and Adam what I think needs to happen immediately for the sake of these children when we come back.
I wish I could tell my children that everything's gonna be okay, but I have no control. This is bad. It's a scary thing.
I wish I could tell my kids it's not their fault. They didn't do anything wrong. I wish I could tell them it would all be okay. I don't know that it's going to be.
What's been happening so far is you profess to believe that this man has victimized y'all's children. I can see no evidence of that whatsoever. This isn't just a polygraph examination. With a forensic background, I have pointed out to you before I opened this envelope, and I did not open this envelope till I was here, that I saw things that compromised the credibility of the report. The CPS saw things that compromised the credibility of the report and came back with no findings and no recommended actions. We've seen inconsistencies in what you told them versus what you told us. We've seen now polygraph exam. I mean, there is an overwhelming amount of evidence that suggests to me that your daughter has not been molested, that your son has not been molested. And if you are so impacted by what has happened to you in the past that it distorts your ability to talk about it, then it could certainly distort your ability to reason about it. And I'm the guy that says you have to believe children until you find out otherwise. Yeah. I think we have found out otherwise here. I am very sorry that you have had to do this. I know you had great trepidation about coming on here.
Yeah.
And you made it very clear the reason you did is because you didn't have anything to hide with regard to molesting your children. And I hope trusting your gut made sense to you because now you have a lot more evidence than you had before.
This is beyond what I was hoping for. I commend you highly. I mean, I'm so happy. I'm so happy of what you've done here.
Well, I will be happy when you have your children in your lap.
Me too.
And they have their daddy in their lives. And you guys have serious issues between you. I will offer to get you very competent professional help with those issues. If you think, as you said, that you had a concussion and it's changed your behavior and your thinking, then let me help you get that evaluated. Let me try to figure out what's going on here. as much as you feel like reality is spinning right now, you should have joy that all signs point to the fact that no one has hurt your children. I want to thank this couple for coming here today, and I say that because these are very important issues. If a child comes to you and gives you an indication that they've been touched inappropriately in some way, then please take that very, very seriously. Don't go running at the accused person like your hair's on fire in a hysterical way. Do your homework too, but believe that child, accept that child, nurture that child, and find out what the truth is. I have a special thanks to give to Jack Tremarco for conducting the polygraph exam. To learn the signs of sexual molestation, go to drphill.com and we'll tell you what to look for, because there's a lot of shame involved with this and they often don't come forward with it. You have to recognize it. Thanks for being here so long. We will help you with this if you will let us.